Remember that feeling? The butterflies, the anticipation, the way you just couldn't wait to spend time with that special person.
Oh, yeah.
Talking for hours, hanging out, wherever, doing whatever. Just thrilled to be in their presence.
Absolutely. That focused energy, that whole discovery phase,
Right.
it's a really potent memory for a lot of people.
Pouring all that effort in.
Right. Finding someone, impressing them, building something totally new.
Exactly. And what if we told you that you could tap back into some of that, that magic?
But not with someone new.
No, with the person you're already married to.
That's the core idea we're diving into today. We're pulling from excerpts of the book 40 Unforgettable Dates with Your Mate by Gary and Barbara Rosberg. And they make a really compelling case for bringing intentional dating back into marriage.
So our mission in this deep dive is to unpack the core insights from this material, look at the practical suggestions.
Yeah, the how-to.
And understand their framework for strengthening your marriage through these dedicated moments together.
Yeah.
We've got insights straight from the book here, provided by you.
Exactly. And the authors, Gary and Barbara Rosberg, well, they've been married since 1975, so decades of experience.
Wow.
They're known as America's family coaches, drawing on their own relationship and extensive counseling work.
Right.
It's probably worth noting they also wrote The 5 Love Needs of Men and Women, which is really foundational to this dating book.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So the big question, why date your mate?
Well, the book kicks off by reminding us of that early courtship phase.
Yeah.
Gary talks about seeing Barb run up the walk, and his reaction was, and you gotta love this quote, "Yippee-ki-yay, she knocked me out."
Ah, yes. I love that bit.
And Barb's side, she mentions her sorority sisters setting them up, feeling flushed seeing him.
Totally captivated.
Right. Their first date was blind, then this massive 3-hour phone call the next day.
Wow.
Dating while working at the mall together. It's all those classic early things, isn't it?
The jitters, the hopes.
Worrying about being a geek, making sure you look okay, hoping they say yes, all that stuff.
Right, navigating that fragile self-esteem.
Yeah.
But then the book flips the script completely when you think about dating your spouse.
Totally, because your spouse, well, they've already seen you at your absolute worst.
Haven't they just?
They've seen the PJs, the bad moods, maybe even the questionable habits we all have. And they love you anyway. You don't need to impress them in the same way.
A good point.
They know you're intelligent, spiritual, witty, maybe just not all at the same time before coffee.
True. They don't need convincing. They just genuinely want to be with you.
And that's the key insight the book really emphasizes. You can recapture the best parts of early dating.
Like the romance.
Yeah, the romance, the surprise, the fun, the undivided attention, that sense of discovery, and intentionally bring them into your marriage, but, without the pressure of trying to figure out if they're the one.
Because they are the one.
Exactly. They are the one.
They also touch on the common hesitations, though. Things we all might feel.
Oh, yeah.
Like, my spouse won't go for this, or feeling stuck in a rut.
Or maybe one person doesn't like change, or there's unresolved pain from the past.
Cost is a big one, too.
Cost, demanding kids, all very real hurdles.
Yeah.
But the authors offer a pretty bold promise based on their work.
Which is?
If you genuinely ask your mate out, with intention, they won't turn you down.
Really? That's bold.
It is. And the bigger promise. That making this a consistent part of your marriage will make it deeper, stronger, and genuinely happier.
Okay, that promise alone makes you lean in, doesn't it?
It does.
And how do they suggest you do that? The whole approach is structured around something they call the 5 love needs.
Right. They based this on extensive research. They surveyed 700 couples to really nail down the most crucial emotional and relational needs within marriage.
Okay, so let's hear them. For wives, the top 5 needs they identified are:
Number 1, unconditional love and acceptance. 2, emotional intimacy and communication. 3, spiritual intimacy. 4, encouragement and affirmation. And 5, companionship.
And for husbands, what did the survey show there?
Okay, for husbands. Number 1 is also unconditional love and acceptance.
Interesting. Same top need.
Yep. Then number 2, sexual intimacy. 3, companionship. 4, encouragement and affirmation. And 5, spiritual intimacy.
Wow, okay. What jumps out immediately is how similar those lists are.
It's striking, isn't it?
4 out of the 5 needs are the same.
Yeah.
It's the The priority order shifts a bit.
Right, and that key difference, sexual intimacy being higher for husbands in this survey, while emotional intimacy and communication ranked higher for wives.
Yeah.
And the book really dives into this idea that while the need might be the same, like companionship or encouragement, how it's expressed and how it's best met can differ quite a bit between men and women.
That makes sense.
They frame meeting these needs not just as, doing something nice, but as an act of sacrificial love,
Okay.
actively building and protecting your marriage against outside pressures.
So let's unpack some of these needs then. Starting with the wife's perspective, which Barbara Rosberg elaborates on, we'll kick off with number 5 on her list, companionship. Or really friendship.
Exactly. The idea here is wanting your husband to be your best friend.
Not just a friend.
No, that long-haul companion who's there through thick and thin, through everything.
And the book describes this kind of friendship as providing complete security and trust.
Yeah, knowing he's just there no matter what, and genuinely enjoying spending time together.
So what does that look like, practically?
It involves simple things like doing errands together, making shared activities a priority, but it's also about him stepping into her world.
How so?
Asking about her day, her thoughts, her hobbies, whether that's scrapbooking or reading or whatever she's into.
Being interested.
Right. Talking about the past you share and the future you're building. And integrity is huge here, being the same trustworthy person in private as you are in public.
There's a powerful guarantee Barb makes here. She says a wife who feels truly honored by her husband.
Honored, yeah.
Spoken to lovingly, encouraged, even bragged about a little, respected. She says that wife will blossom.
Blossom with poise and confidence and naturally respond in kind. It's like that simple act of honoring through friendship unlocks so much.
It sounds huge.
It is. The book includes these pre-date ideas, questions for husbands, like asking themselves, do I genuinely think of my wife as my best friend?
Ooh, challenging.
Or does she feel completely safe with me? Date ideas could be things like dating days, where you recreate early activities you did as friends.
That sounds fun.
Or Hobby Lobby, where he actually joins her in something she's passionate about, shows he cares about her world.
Okay, moving up the list. Need number 4 for wives, encouragement and affirmation.
Yeah, the source defines encouragement as to give courage, inspire, hearten.
And wives really need that courage, don't they, for all the daily challenges?
Absolutely. Jobs, ministry, raising kids, just managing the household. The book acknowledges they often feel stressed, overwhelmed, exhausted. It's a lot.
This is where that anecdote about Melissa and Rich is just
Wow.
so powerful.
Oh, yeah. Melissa had this incredibly tough day teaching first grade, right? Feeling completely discouraged.
Yeah, just drained,
And Rich listened patiently. He didn't jump in to fix it.
which is key.
Exactly. He just listened, and then he affirmed her, not just as a teacher, but as this incredible wife and mother.
And then the shoebox.
Ah, the shoebox, filled with 220 things he loved and admired about her, written on paper towels of all things.
Incredible.
And his words, in my book, you reign as queen. Just, wow.
Wow is right. That story just vividly shows the immense power of positive words versus, the cutting effect of negative ones the book talks about.
Definitely. So practically, how do you encourage? The book says notice her efforts.
Even the small things.
Especially the small things she does daily. Say thank you. Genuinely seek to understand her perspective. Affirm her gifts and potential.
And this is crucial. Listen without immediately trying to solve the problem.
Right. Let her process, let her vent, even cry if needed. Just be there.
Empathize. Show affection.
Yeah. And the source makes this beautiful point that her positive response isn't some prize you've earned by doing this.
It's not transactional.
No, it's a natural overflow of her feeling seen, heard, and supported.
That's lovely. What about date ideas for this one?
They suggest practical things like guys honoring their wives, maybe doing a chore she really dislikes, or leaving little notes of affirmation around.
Nice touches.
Or a stakeout where you intentionally lavish her with her favorite meal and focused attention, making her feel special.
Okay, next up, need number 2 for wives. Emotional intimacy and communication.
Right. The source highlights this as a really central connection point for many women. It often enables other forms of intimacy.
It's contrasted with how the book describes men, who might sort of compartmentalize different areas of their lives more.
Exactly. For a wife, the book uses this analogy. Imagine her life areas, friends, job, kids, communication, sex life, like boxes all tied together by a rope.
Okay.
If one box is messed up or stressed, the whole system feels it. Everything is interconnected.
That makes so much sense. The anecdote about Meg and Joe really illustrates this, doesn't it?
It does. Their busy lives had created distance. Joe initiated a date just to talk, dinner out.
Simple, but intentional.
Right. And Meg was able to just download all the stresses she'd been holding on to.
Just getting it out.
And she felt so much better afterwards, just being listened to. The book highlights how she realized how much she'd missed really talking with him and how his perspective actually helped her.
So that dinner date was primarily about the emotional connection.
Absolutely. Above all else.
So the absolute core of emotional intimacy here, according to the book, is listening.
Listening, yeah. Undivided attention, trying to understand her feelings, being present.
Letting her process without jumping in to fix it right away.
Huge. And even asking her opinion on small things shows you value her thoughts and want her involved.
It's about connection.
And it's definitely mutual. She needs to feel connected to his life too. But for her, the book really emphasizes that daily reminders of his love and him being connected to her world are vital.
Got it. Date ideas for this.
Things like a hot bath and a cold dessert creating a relaxing space for conversation.
Nice.
Or even shop till you drop, which might not sound deep, but it's about spending focused time with her, doing something she enjoys, being present in her interests.
Okay. And finally, topping the list, the #1 need for wives: unconditional love and acceptance.
This is the big one. Loved without conditions. The even if love.
Loved when she feels unlovable.
Exactly. Through her failures, her pain, her vulnerability, when she's not at her best.
The story of Catherine and Tom powerfully captures this, I thought.
Oh, absolutely. Catherine had this outburst driven by stress, and Tom's immediate incredible response wasn't defensiveness.
No, it was amazing.
He just said, "Catherine, I forgive you for yelling at me."
Just like that.
And then he followed it up by asking if he understood her stress, trying to get to the why behind the behavior.
Showing empathy.
Right. She felt loved even when she was anguished by her own actions. That's unconditional.
The source draws a direct connection to the Christian faith here, doesn't it?
It does. Framing this kind of love as modeled after God's love for us while we were still sinners, quoting Romans 5:8, it suggests you need to lean on God's strength to love this way consistently.
And they contrast unconditional love, which builds security and allows a wife to be herself.
With conditional love, which they argue is crippling. It creates fault lines by putting her down or only loving her when she meets certain standards or expectations.
So how do you live out this unconditional love day to day?
Daily encouragement, telling her you love her and aren't going anywhere, spending quality time, genuine compliments, respecting her opinions, making time for daily talk.
Being tender during hard times.
Definitely. Being tender during hormonal changes or stressful periods, serving her, being present right at her point of pain or mistake, listening without solving, being her advocate.
Covering her faults with love.
Yes, they use this powerful phrase, being God with skin on, for her.
Wow. What about date ideas that support this need?
Things like a cozy conversation date, really focused on deep, accepting talk in a comfortable setting.
Focus time.
Or maybe a place of healing, going somewhere significant to speak words of commitment and forgiveness for past hurts or misunderstandings, reinforcing that unconditional bond.
Okay, let's shift gears. Let's look at meeting the husband's needs now, which Gary Rosberg discusses in the book. Kicking off with #3 on the husband's list: companionship.
Right. Similar to wives, husbands deeply desire their wives to be their best friend.
But maybe with a slightly different flavor.
Perhaps, yeah. The book talks about it being about soulmates, that reliable presence they can always count on, a partner in crime almost.
And the book describes this friendship as being there through everything, providing comfort, like old jeans. I like that analogy.
Me too. It's about creating a safe space for vulnerability, which the source notes can be tough for some men.
Yeah, they don't always open up easily.
Exactly. So he needs to feel safe to share his thoughts and feelings without fear of judgment or rejection or just being misunderstood.
The anecdote about Jennifer learning from Brandon's older sisters is a great illustration here.
It really is. One sister, Karen, mentioned just playing with him simple stuff like watching games together or looking at fishing magazines, sharing his interests.
Just being present in his world.
Right. Another sister, Amy, talked about validating his feelings, letting him know it's okay to feel frustration or anxiety.
Not dismissing it.
And Mandy highlighted not misunderstanding him, asking what he feels instead of telling him, and not judging it. And Jennifer was teachable. She took it on board.
That really highlights the importance of understanding how that friendship looks specifically for him. So how can wives be this kind of friend?
The book advises having realistic expectations. He might not process things or talk about feelings the same way your girlfriends do.
Okay.
Be there for him. Listen when he does choose to open up. Validate his emotions even if you don't fully get them.
Encourage him.
Absolutely. Encourage him. Remind him you're committed and won't leave. Speak truth, but lovingly. And crucially, keep his confidence. Build that trust.
Makes sense. Date ideas for this.
Things like his favorite movie night, watching his pick, and actually talking about why he likes it, shows you care about his taste. Or Hobby Lobby again, but this time joining him in one of his interests, whether it's working on a car engine or diving into some obscure historical topic he loves.
Entering his world. Got it. Next, need number 4 for husbands. Encouragement and affirmation.
Yes, and the book uses this great metaphor. The wife needs to be the husband's cheerleader.
His number 1 fan.
Always on his side, his most loyal fan. That's the idea.
Why is this so crucial for him?
Because he needs to feel like you're genuinely rooting for him. Men feel the effects of aging, too. Career pressures, maybe spiritual challenges.
Yeah.
And they need to know you still see them as capable as that one-man team you married, even on their bad days, maybe especially on their bad days.
The story of Greg and Shauna is a powerful example here, too.
It really is. Greg called into their radio show feeling inadequate, needing spiritual connection.
And Shauna didn't try to fix him.
No. She listened. She affirmed areas where he was succeeding. She validated his feelings, prayed with him, snuggled him.
Told him she was proud.
Yes. And just let him know he wasn't facing it alone. That's the core of it.
So how can wives embody that cheerleader role? What does the book suggest?
Cheer him on. Be vocal and positive. Don't be silent or negative when he's trying.
Applaud his efforts.
Yes, applaud and affirm his efforts, especially in areas he finds challenging, like maybe spiritual leadership if that's tough for him.
And maybe ease up on criticism.
Right. Be quieter about what he hasn't done yet. Don't nag, don't get angry about unmet expectations, and definitely don't compare him to other men.
Ouch. Yeah.
Be his unwavering support through storms and crises. His rock.
Date ideas for encouragement.
A stakeout comes up again, lavishing him with a favorite meal, and focused attention can feel really affirming.
Or something family-oriented.
Yeah, a family fun date, planning something the whole family, but particularly he will really enjoy. Shows you're thinking of his happiness.
Okay. Moving on to need number 5 for husbands. Spiritual intimacy.
Right. And the source acknowledges this can often be challenging for couples, but frames it as vital. It's often connected to the idea of the husband's spiritual leadership in the home.
Brent's story resonates here. The guy feeling inadequate.
Yeah, wanting to be a servant leader, but feeling like he wasn't measuring up, needing affirmation and prayer, getting discouraged by feeling judged against impossible standards.
So how does the book frame the husband's role here?
It talks about the husband as the spiritual head or leader, but that means leading by example, mentoring through his actions, having his words rooted in his own relationship with God,
Okay.
and initiating things like reading scripture or praying together as a couple, taking that lead.
But the book also addresses when that's hard, right? What if the husband isn't a believer or feels totally inadequate or is just struggling?
Exactly. It doesn't shy away from that. Their advice to the wife is crucial. Gently demonstrate the value of his relationship with God.
But don't nag.
Absolutely not. Don't nag, don't get angry, don't compare him to other men. Instead, continue to love him, support him, pray for him.
And focus on her own growth.
Yes, and continue your own spiritual growth. Be patient. Trust the process.
What's the reward for navigating this potentially tricky area?
The immense reward, they argue, is weaving that cord of 3 strands tighter you, your spouse, and God.
Ecclesiastes.
Right. Leaning on each other and weathering life's storms together with that shared spiritual foundation.
Date ideas for spiritual intimacy.
They suggest things like being kidnapped for the weekend, setting aside focused time away specifically for deep spiritual conversation, reading the Bible, and praying together.
Getting away from distractions.
Exactly. Or making a special birthday surprise with a spiritual focus, like writing out specific things you thank God for about him and praying for him together.
Okay, wrapping up the husband's needs, number 2, sexual intimacy.
Yes. And the source is very direct here. It states this is a fundamental and vital need for many men.
Deeply tied to masculinity and self-image.
Yes, and something God created with a strong drive. They cite stats suggesting 50 to 90% of a man's self-image can be tied up in his sexuality.
Wow, that high.
That's what they report. It gives you a sense of how central it can be for many men.
The anecdote about Marcy and David really highlights the power of intentionality here.
It does. Marcy planned that surprise romantic getaway, right? Paying attention to all the details she knew would resonate with him.
The lingerie, the snacks, the music.
The B&B with a hot tub. She went all out. And David's reaction was described as hitting a grand slam. She really met his need intentionally.
The book makes a really significant point about a wife's response in this area.
It does. It frames responding sexually as affirming him beyond anything you could imagine.
And conversely,
Conversely, withholding or routinely rebuffing him, maybe because she's genuinely too tired, or perhaps upset about something else entirely, is described as potentially emasculating.
that's a strong word.
It is. And the source argues that this feeling of rejection can cause him to withdraw emotionally, which can then start a detrimental downward spiral in the relationship. It's a dynamic the book emphasizes needs careful understanding.
So what's the book's solution from their perspective?
For wives to be ready and willing to meet this need regularly, they suggest many men need it maybe 1 to 2 times a week, some more.
And it's framed as meeting a legitimate need.
Yes, a legitimate God-created need. And the wife is uniquely chosen by God within the marriage covenant to meet that specific need for her husband.
How can wives practically meet this need, according to the book?
Be ready and willing. Explicitly tell him, I'm committed to meeting your needs. Affirm him, verbally use terms like hunk, say it with passion.
Enhance the atmosphere.
Yeah, enhance the sensuality with things like nice lingerie, maybe different sheets, candles, creating a romantic atmosphere. They also suggest using their let's talk questions to specifically discuss how he feels most affirmed sexually. Open that communication.
Date ideas for this focus on intimacy.
They lean into creating anticipation and connection. Ideas like mysterious turn-on, which builds intrigue.
Okay.
Or melt him with a massage, framed as a relaxing pathway towards intimacy.
Right. Now, we land on the number one need for husbands, which we saw was also number one for wives. Unconditional love and acceptance.
Back to the top spot for both. Love without conditions. The even-if love.
Especially when he feels weak.
Yes, especially when he feels weak, has failed, made mistakes, or even hurt you. Loving him through it.
The anecdote about Tom and Julia facing a crisis really illustrates this.
It does. Tom was facing this major crisis, feeling his capacity had just plummeted. And Julia was described as being God with skin on for him.
How so?
Verbally expressing her belief in him, reminding him they'd get through it together, using that phrase, God is holding the salt shaker, implying God was in control even when things felt shaky.
Providing that anchor.
Exactly. The power of this unconditional love for husbands, the book says, helps him go on. It builds him up, helps him move through problems, and actually draws him closer to his wife. And conditional love. Conditional love, they argue, can just defeat him, undermine his confidence when he needs it most.
So how can wives show this unconditional love?
Being his anchor in times of crisis or stress, showing grace when he's weak or messes up, assuring him of your commitment, I love you no matter what.
Being specific about the what.
Yeah, sometimes being specific helps, even if you lose your job, even though you made that mistake, even when you're unavailable because of pressure. Being a safe haven. Working through situations together.
8 ideas for this.
A cozy conversation date comes up again, talking through stress, feeling appreciated and accepted.
Or revisiting symbolic places.
Right, a place of healing. Going somewhere symbolic to express unconditional love and maybe forgiveness for past hurts or failures. Reinforcing that commitment. They also mention let's dream as a kind of extravagant act of giving unconditional love and belief in his future.
Okay, so we've gone through the 10 core needs discussed in the book, the 5 priorities for wives, the 5 for husbands. But the book isn't just about the needs, is it? It's broader.
No, it's about the whole journey of making a good marriage great.
Right. And they emphasize that changing a marriage takes time.
Definitely. You didn't get where you are overnight and you won't transform it instantly. But the key is starting today.
With intentionality.
Exactly, with intentionality.
They also suggest specific date types focus purely on us, the couple together, not just meeting one person's specific need.
Yeah, dates like we belong together to celebrate your shared journey and recommit.
Or remember those vows.
Yeah, reflecting on your wedding vows, revisiting those memories. Or growing together, maybe attending a marriage enrichment event like a conference, like the ones they mention.
It's also about grabbing the smaller moments, isn't it?
Totally. Take every opportunity. Don't wait for the perfect 2-hour slot. Or simply sharing quiet time without an agenda together in the quiet.
And finding ways to make everyday things feel special.
Make the mundane special.
Yeah.
Turning an ordinary evening into something a bit more connected.
And they leave us with two simple philosophies at the end.
Right. First, KISS. Keep it so simple.
Ah, the classic.
Dates don't need to be expensive or elaborate to be incredibly meaningful. Connection is the key, not the cost.
And second,
Seize the moment. Don't wait for the perfect time, the perfect alignment of schedules and energy and mood. Look for opportunities to connect now, even small ones.
okay, so pulling back from this deep dive into excerpts from 40 Unforgettable Dates with Your Mate, the core message seems really clear.
Yeah, it's that intentional dating within marriage, really focused on genuinely understanding and meeting those key love needs we discuss.
Unconditional love, emotional, sexual, spiritual intimacy, companionship.
That can be a truly transformative tool for a relationship.
The book provides not just the why, reminding us of that early spark, but the how.
Exactly. A practical framework, those insightful distinctions between men's and women's needs, relatable stories, specific date ideas.
And those guided let's talk questions seem really helpful.
Yeah, they are. It's all aimed at helping couples be more purposeful and effective in nurturing their connection. Less guesswork, more intention.
We hope exploring these ideas has sparked some thoughts for you, the listener.
Maybe identifying a need that really resonates in your own relationship, either one you have or one your spouse has.
Or perhaps finding some inspiration in one of the stories or the specific date ideas we mentioned.
Think about the profound impact of truly understanding these fundamental needs in your spouse.
And the potential unleashed by even small, intentional acts of connection. It doesn't have to be huge.
Right. But here's where it gets really interesting, I think. The book frames meeting these needs within that powerful concept of unconditional love.
Even using that phrase, being God with skin on, for your spouse.
Yeah, and building strength, like that cord of 3 strands with God at the center. So the question to maybe leave you with is,
What does it look like to lean into that level of transformative love and intentional connection in your own marriage starting today?